and the stories that you're going to be hearing this evening in song. My name is Matthew Durst. I'm the Artistic Director of Ars Liberty Houston, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here tonight. With me is our baritone soloist for the evening, Tom Medioranza. Tom is here to tell you what singing this repertoire, a Beethoven song cycle on Die Ferne plus a Johann Christoph Friedrich Bach cantata, or really a monodrama on the Pygmalion story, is like, with period instruments especially, and to fill you in on the background of both stories, because they both do have a kind of narrative thread to them, especially the Pygmalion story. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Tom for a few minutes and then talk about the various keyboard instruments that you see arrayed on the stage behind me.
Hello. So the first piece that I'm going to be singing is Beethoven's An die ferne Geliebte. It's often thought of as the first song cycle, in that it's one long movement of 6 mini songs all joined together. And I think if I were hearing it for the first time, what I would find most helpful to know is basically the first song is sort of like an introduction. I'm standing on a hill looking out into the distance, longing for my distant beloved and feeling very sad that we're so far apart. And I have this idea, what can I do to ease my longing? I know, I'll sing some songs. And thus, by singing songs, it will close up the distance between me and my beloved. So I start singing songs. I sing a song about how beautiful it is where she is and how I wish I was there. I sing a song to the birds and the clouds and the stream and the wind, and I say, you guys, while you're on your journey, if you happen to run into her, tell her I say hi, give her my greetings. And I sing a few more songs on that theme. Winds, go tell her I say hi. And the last song I sing is, the month of May is here, everybody's falling in love, the birds are building their nests, but I'm still far away from you. Oh well. So take these songs that I have just sung and sing them to yourself, accompany yourself on the lute as the sun goes down, and if you sing these songs that I have sung to you and we're singing them together across the distance, it'll make the distance seem that much smaller and we'll be close together. So that's the basic gist of that. And this is the first time I've ever sung this cycle with a period piano, and it's such a wonderful experience because the sound is so intimate and there's so many colors, and with a modern piano, by contrast, as wonderful as a modern piano is, it feels like it's sending the music out. And here, with this piano being so intimate, it feels like we're making the room smaller and smaller, and we're all sharing in this little space of sound where these beautiful soft colors happen, and it's very intimate and very special experience to sing with this instrument. In the second half, I'm singing a cantata called Pygmalion, and you're probably familiar with the Pygmalion story. Pygmalion is a sculptor, and he is tired of the women of his day. He has no use for them, but he is in love with this sculpture that he's just created. It's the most beautiful thing in the world, and he longs for it to come to life. And over the course of the cantata, it comes to life. It's a very simple story, but what is actually the fun part of it for me is in the telling of this simple story, it's such a rich character portrait of the sculptor himself. He is extremely full of himself, he's kind of manipulative, he's rather narcissistic, he's trying to convince the gods to make this statue come to life, and he's like, please, I will make all these burnt offerings to you, you're the best, and then when it doesn't work, he says, well, I guess maybe you're not the best, maybe you're not strong enough, maybe you can't do it, oh well. And then he says, I know why you won't do it. You're just going to be jealous because when this statue comes to life, it's going to be the most beautiful thing in the world, more beautiful than you. Ha ha. And so he sort of reveals himself as this wily, manipulative, narcissistic character. He sings an aria about how the most wonderful thing about having this statue come to life is teaching her how to speak and how to say, Pygmalion, I love you. And it's almost like he sings this duet with the statue saying, Pygmalion, I love you, to himself. So he's kind of singing about how much he loves himself. So the story is silly, but it's a really fun portrait of a kind of a wacky guy. So I hope you enjoy getting to know him.
Thank you very much, Tom. We'll look forward to seeing you a little bit later. And just a quick word about these two keyboard instruments that you see on the stage. Both this forte piano and the harpsichord that is lingering upstage right now, it will move down for the second half of the program, are from the University of Houston. They are part of the growing collection of historical keyboards in the Moores School of Music at the University of Houston. The forte piano, which I'll be playing on the first half of today's program, is a copy of an instrument built by a builder in Vienna by the name of Walter from 1790. So it's a Mozart, early Beethoven era piano. It has 2 strings per register, and unlike a modern piano which has 3, it doesn't make near as much noise because it's far shorter than a modern grand, has a much more lightning fast action. The hammers are perhaps a third or maybe even a quarter the size of the hammers on a modern Steinway. So it's very much like a harpsichord, an instrument this crowd is, I think, much more used to hearing, from me at least, but with the action of a jack and a plectrum taken out and substituting in a very small hammer for each note to hit both strings. So it's the same principle as a piano, but on a slightly earlier scale, and it has a couple of very wonderful special effects, which I'll be using in both Beethoven pieces. The harpsichord behind it, which you'll see better in the second half of the program, is modeled after a circa 1700 Florentine instrument by the builder John Phillips in Berkeley, California. It's one of several instruments by John in this town, including several at the University of Houston, and I'll be using that instrument with the ensemble in the second half of this evening's program. With that, I'm going to go backstage for just a minute, and we will see you in about 8 or 9 minutes for An die Ferne Geliebte. Enjoy.